In the news tonight, 3 bomb attacks in Baghdad kill at least 29 people as fighting intensifies in the northern city of Mosul, where government forces are trying to push Daesh from their last major stronghold. The UN Security Council unanimously adopts a resolution welcoming a ceasefire in the Syrian civil war brokered by Russia and Turkey. And celebrations of the New Year have begun as people around the world ring in the New Year with parades, fireworks, and festivities. Good evening and welcome to a new edition of the news. Here are the details. As the world ushers in a new year, His Majesty King Abdullah wished Jordan and Jordanians a year full of happiness and prosperity. His Majesty tweeted his wishes for the new year on the Royal Hashemite Court page on social media. He said he is proud of all Jordanians and the determined youth who continuously demonstrate to the world that through their strength, harmony and unity, they are steadfastly moving towards a brighter future. Celebrations of the New Year have begun as people around the world ring in the New Year with parades, fireworks and festivities. Sydney, Pyongyang and Auckland were some of the first to say goodbye to 2016 as many cities around the world stepped up security for New Year's Eve celebrations. Here's a glimpse of how the world is ushering in 2017.
It's 2017, for some at least already, as fireworks mark the beginning of hopefully better times for all, while others begin their countdown. New Zealanders celebrated with a fireworks display that erupted from Auckland's 328-meter-tall Sky Tower. Some 500 kilograms of fireworks were used in the display that took 5 months of planning. Sydney's annual fireworks spectacular, its biggest to date, honored celebrities who passed away in 2016, including the legendary artist Prince, David Bowie, and others. Taiwan's tallest skyscraper, the Taipei 101 Tower, rang in the new year with its annual fireworks display for 238 seconds, marking the first time they used LED lights with fireworks in this year's theme, Lighten Up Taiwan. Another dazzling display of fireworks was in Hong Kong as skies lit the iconic Victoria Harbour. In New York, the iconic Times Square New Year's Eve Ball was lit and sent up the 130-foot pole atop One Times Square for one final test run before the countdown to 2017. U.S. officials estimate more than 1 million people will flock on Times Square to watch the crystal ball drop and mark the start of the new year amid heavy security. Security has also been tightened across Europe. Berlin's stepped-up security was with concrete barriers blocking access, while policemen armed with machine guns patrolled Europe's largest party area. In Paris, some 600,000 people are expected to descend on the Champs-Élysées to usher in 2017, with the annual light display again amid a heavy police and military presence to protect visitors. Meanwhile, in Iraq, and despite the continued fighting, displaced Iraqis living in the Hassan Sham camp will celebrate the new year with songs, dance and face painting for children, as they and the rest of the world share their hope for peace in the world. This is Dana Abu Sham for News at 10.
On a somber note, and following fresh bombings in Baghdad, Jordan has voiced strong condemnation of the killing of innocent civilians in multiple attacks targeting a Baghdad market. State Minister for Media Affairs Mohammed Al-Momani called for concerted efforts to support Iraq in countering terrorism. He also voiced Jordan's solidarity and support with the Iraqi people in fighting terrorists who target the stability of the country. Momani also offered the government's condolences and wished the injured a prompt recovery. 3 bomb attacks, 2 of which were claimed by Daesh terrorist group, killed 29 people in Baghdad. Blasts, including 1 suicide attack, tore through a busy market in the Sanak neighborhood. A third blast later killed 4 people in the eastern New Baghdad district, where a minibus packed with explosives blew up in a busy commercial street. Meanwhile, scores of Iraqis left their homes for safety as the Iraqi army fought Daesh terrorists in eastern Mosul. This footage shows residents of Intisar, one of the districts in the city, walking past army vehicles carrying their belongings to safety. Iraqi forces launched the second phase of their operation to retake the northern city on Thursday after weeks of deadlock. So far, they have retaken a quarter of Mosul since the offensive began in mid-October. Coalition forces bombed the last remaining bridge connecting East and West Mosul this week to block Daesh from having access across the river which divides the city. Iraqi forces have advanced towards Mosul from the northern front after retaking several villages in the area. Explosions and heavy plumes of smoke were reported from the targeted locations in Arqub. Further south, an elite interior ministry unit continued to push through the Intisar district. Conventional U.S. forces are backing the Iraqi army, the federal police, and the counter-terrorism service. They are deploying more extensively in this phase and are reported to be close to the front lines. The United Nations Security Council adopted a resolution endorsing a ceasefire in the Syrian civil war brokered by Russia and Turkey. It also called for rapid access for humanitarian aid to be delivered across the country. The resolution also welcomed plans for talks to take place in Astana, Kazakhstan, between the Syrian government and the opposition ahead of UN-brokered talks in Geneva in February. In remarks after the vote, several delegates welcomed the ceasefire but said the agreement contained grey areas and that its implementation was fragile. Russia and Turkey announced a ceasefire this week, the third truce this year, seeking to end the nearly 6 years of war in Syria. The ceasefire, which began just over a day ago, has mostly held. According to a statement by the Kremlin, Russian President Vladimir Putin and Iran's President Hassan Rouhani agreed in a telephone conversation to continue their close coordination in trying to end the crisis in Syria. The statement said Putin and Rouhani agreed on the importance of the new ceasefire agreement, which Russia and Turkey brokered, and to proceed with plans for peace talks in the Kazakh capital Astana. Earlier, Syrian rebels threatened to abandon the 2-day truce if violations continued, accusing the Syrian army and Russia of the violations, while Russia's defense ministry said yesterday rebels had violated the truce 12 times in the first 24 hours. The ceasefire agreement has reduced the level of violence, but firefights, airstrikes and shelling continue, the rebels claim. Lebanese daily newspaper As-Safir printed its final edition today, forced to close after 42 years because of financial problems. The front page led with an editorial entitled "The Nation Without As-Safir." Chief editor Talal Salman earlier this year blamed the newspaper's planned closure on falling revenues and Lebanon's political and sectarian problems. As-Safir was founded in 1974 with the slogan, "A voice for those who have no voice." And back here at home and in the monthly revision of the rates of oil derivatives, a government decision has increased the price of some of items but kept unchanged the price of cooking gas cylinders. The price of cooking gas is fixed at 7 JDs per cylinder according to the amendment, which will be effective tomorrow, January 1st. The price of 1 litre of 90-octane gasoline now stands at 62 piastres, 4 piastres up from the current price of 58, while the new price of 95-octane gasoline will be 81 piastres per litre. Diesel and kerosene will be sold at 46.5 piastres per litre. Radical Islamist terrorism is the biggest test facing Germany, said Chancellor Angela Merkel. In a New Year's address to the nation, Merkel vowed to introduce laws that improve security after a deadly attack before Christmas in Berlin. Seeking a fourth term as Chancellor in 2017, Merkel described 2016 as a year that gave many the impression that the world had turned upside down. She urged Germans to shun populism and said Germany should take a leading role in addressing the many challenges facing the European Union.
The biggest test, without a doubt, is terrorism, which has been eyeing us as Germans for many years. In 2016, we were attacked in the heart of our country, and just a few days ago on the Christmas market here at the Memorial Church in Berlin. And yes, it is especially bitter and despicable if terror attacks are carried out by people who are allegedly looking for protection in our country.
Outgoing UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon said goodbye to the United Nations after a 10-year tenure. Ban will return to South Korea in January after heading the world body for a decade to consider what role he can play in the future of his country amid a push for him to run for president. However, Ban has not declared his intention to run for president, only saying he would devote himself to the country. The 193-member UN General Assembly unanimously appointed former Portuguese Prime Minister António Guterres in October as the 9th Secretary General of the World Body for 5 years, beginning tomorrow, January 1st, 2017.
And my heart will always be with you and the United Nations. Our world faces many challenges, but never forget, this is also an era of great opportunity. Keep making the most of it. My wife and I wish you all the best. Happy New Year. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts, and we look forward to welcoming you to Korea or wherever our path may cross. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you.
Pope Francis, in his year-end message, urged leaders to do more to tackle youth unemployment, saying a generation is being lost to desperation, migration, and joblessness. At his last public event of 2016, an evening Vespers service in St. Peter's Basilica, the Pope said doors have to be opened for young people so that they can be capable of dreaming and fighting for the dreams. At the end of the service, Pope Francis walked across St. Peter's Square, stopping to shake hands and pose for pictures as he paid a brief visit to the life-size nativity set up outside. Tomorrow he will say a mass to mark the Church's World Day of Peace. Andy Murray finished 2016 with a bang as he dismissed Milos Raonic in straight sets to claim third place at the Mubadala World Tennis Championship in Abu Dhabi. Murray, who was knighted in Queen Elizabeth's New Year's honours list yesterday, celebrated in style as he beat Canadian Raonic 6-3, 7-6. He also ended the year at the top of the men's rankings for the first time, having won titles including Wimbledon, the Rio Olympics, and the ATP World Tour Finals. Because the Abu Dhabi tournament is an exhibition event, Murray will carry his 24-match winning streak into the Qatar Open in Doha as he builds towards his push for a first Australian Open title next month.
Game set match, Murray. 6-3, 7-6.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, a huge honour.
Winners from the 2016 Rio Olympic Games looked back at their year and the achievements they've made. The champions, including Usain Bolt, Yusra Mardini, Ben Ryan, Rafaela Silva and David Rudisha, wished their fans a happy new year.
Big deal. I'm excited about that, and next year is just to move on and continue doing great things. I want to say I'm really happy for what I achieved, for helping refugees, and 2016 was a great year. I'm looking forward for 2017.
The most amazing thing for 2016 was definitely the growth that I experienced. And I'm looking forward to 2017. We'll definitely be trying to beat every time and record.
I had a fantastic 2016 season with winning the gold medal in Rio, and I look forward to working hard to bring more good results in 2017.
The most amazing thing about 2016 was capturing 2 golds at the Olympics. The thing I'm looking for the most in 2017 is to have another wonderful season.
And it's Great Britain, gold and silver, and the brothers are on top of the podium once again.
Of 2016 for me was the Olympics in Rio, and to cross that finish line and win the race was a great achievement for me.
And get 1 to the Olympics and
season was wonderful. It's exactly how I wanted to be. I came out victorious. I'm 9-time Olympic champion, so for me it was a big deal. I'm excited about that, and next year is just to move on and continue doing great things.
I want to say I'm really happy for what I achieved, for helping refugees, and 2016 was a great year. I'm looking forward for 2017 to help refugees and to reach my goals.
And finally, very chilly weather prevails in most regions for the rest of tonight, with partly cloudy skies and southwesterly light winds. Hilly areas as well as the Badia and eastern plains should expect misty and frosty conditions after midnight. Tomorrow, cold conditions continue across the kingdom as temperatures drop 3 degrees below their seasonal average. In the south, the Gulf of Aqaba can continue to enjoy fair conditions tomorrow, with northerly moderate winds and calm seas. Here now is the temperatures forecast for tonight and tomorrow. And to close, here's a reminder of the day's top stories. 3 bomb attacks in Baghdad kill at least 29 people as fighting intensifies in the northern city of Mosul, where government forces are trying to push Daesh from their last major stronghold. The UN Security Council unanimously adopts a resolution welcoming a ceasefire in the Syria civil war brokered by Russia and Turkey. And celebrations of the new year have begun as people around the world ring in the new year with parades, fireworks and festivities. And with less than 2 hours until Jordan rings in the new year, as we bid farewell to 2016 with all the good, the bad and the ugly that it had in store for us, on behalf of the News at 10 team, I wish Jordan and the rest of the world a blessed year ahead. May 2017 bring peace and stability to our region and prosperity to our beloved Jordan. I'm Alia Tuqan, wishing you all a happy new year. كل عام وأنتم بخير. Have a good night.